Alrighty. So we're going to kick off just like we always do with some shout outs. And I would like to start by shouting out Carrie Ann Brick, Michelle Brick, who they're both on vacation right now, so they're not on the call, and Kate Stackhouse, because they are running a free group right now. And they asked me to be in it to give some feedback and stuff. And so I have been, and like, blowing my mind. Like, they definitely went into the challenge group content folder in our Google Drive and used some of the stuff. But then yesterday, Michelle shared a video kind of explaining like what the group was and what they were going to get out of it. And then they all had emailed their people that were in there with a link to get a free trial of Beachbody on Demand. So she explained all that to them. It was just so well done and so thorough, and just really showing people what we have to offer without anybody having to make a purchase. So they don't know this yet. When they watch the recording, they'll hear this, but I'm going to ask them to speak on a team call together about how to run a successful free group, because they went above and beyond. And I'm going to also ask them to share in the folder what they prepared, because it was just so well done. And I think we can really take that and run with it and use that, in other ways, because free groups have there's so much value there in running a free group. And I think it's only a 2-week group. I can't remember exactly, but I believe this week is like their first week of really like doing workouts and everything. Last week was like a prep week for the free group. And it was just really good, really engaging, really cool graphics. They did a really good job. Are there any other shout outs while we open up the call? Just feel free to unmute yourself and shout them out if you have anybody. Go ahead.
I wanted to shout out Megan and Sarah. And I don't know if Lisa is still in our challenge group or not, or I don't know if she took out or not, but they've been awesome. We've really been communicating the past, 2 weeks now, ladies? I think you're on the call if you are. And they've all, I wouldn't say all of them, but a lot of our people that we put in there have been really participant, and we've also like leaned on each other these 2 weeks, like, what do we do with this? Who's going to do this post today? They've been awesome. So
That's
just
awesome.
want to shout out that thanks, guys.
Anybody else? Okay, so Jamie and I were talking, I don't know when we actually started talking about this, but we were talking about how we've talked about this as a team, how our job really starts after the sale, that we're not salespeople, because if we were salespeople, we'd just like sell the necklace and be happy with it. But our job really starts after someone makes the investment. And Jamie had done a really good training on what to do after the sale, like some ideas to show people the value of having a coach, of not just running to Amazon or running to beachbody.com instead of teambeachbody.com to make a purchase. And so I had asked her if she'd be willing to talk about that on a team call. So she's going to share about that. And then when she's done, I'm going to share a little bit about our Backstage Pass to Summit, our sneak peek, and then also talk just a little bit about Summit itself for those of you going, but also for those of you not going, because there's some things that are going to happen early, like before Saturday, that I really want you guys to be plugged into and to be looking for, so that you can start preparing for next year's Summit. So go ahead, Jamie. I just unmuted you. Oh, wait. Maybe. It's not letting me unmute you. Can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Something froze. I think it's better. All right. So I lost like the last couple seconds of what you said there, but I think you said it was my turn. We good to go? Okay. All right. So yes, like Lindsay said, I had done, I think twice I've done some trainings on what to do after the sale, but it's been a while. So I went back and I kind of reviewed. I have a YouTube video that I did with this when we did some of these trainings before. And really what I came up with when I did that training was I had 7, oh, my watch is telling me to move. I had 7 tips that I felt were important for what to do after a sale, because really our job begins after the sale. None of us like to feel salesy when we're doing Beachbody. Most of us did not sign up to be Beachbody coaches to be salespeople. So it's most likely not your background. But it actually is mine. I was in sales before I stayed home with my kids and before I started being a Beachbody coach. So I do feel I have like a little bit more of a backstory with that end, but I always said that I pretended to be in sales when I did do it because it really wasn't my forte. My forte really was just connecting with people. So I'm going to give you my 7 tips that I have that really kind of focus around that, connecting with people and really gaining trust and consistency with what you're doing after you make a sale. So let's say you sell a challenge pack or you sell bod to somebody, whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is, but really at that point in time is some of us may go, woo, you know, this is great, I sold something, and then you kind of freak out and you're like, now what? Now what am I going to do, right? So here are my 7 tips. So you can grab a piece of paper and a pen, or you can listen to this later and write them down, or just keep a mental note. And, you know, maybe you don't like all my tips. Maybe not all of them are going to work for you. Hopefully you'll pick and choose some things that sound like something that you'll use in the future too. So number 1, after you make a sale, the first thing that I do, and the first thing that most coaches would do at this point in time, is to add that person to a challenge group. I know we have multiple challenge groups running at different times, so make sure it's an appropriate challenge group for that person. And you want to get them in there, welcome them to the challenge group, kind of like we welcome new coaches to the team page. Secondly, what we do after you're adding them to the group is that I add them to my calendar, and I'm still very old school. I use a paper and pen most of the time. I'm still not really adding things to my phone. It makes me nervous. I write it down on a piece of paper. I write it in my planner. But basically what I want you to do is about 2 weeks out from that sale, I want you to write their name on that date. And that way, when in a couple of weeks you're checking in with them on the fact that what they purchased, if they purchased Shakeology, or if they purchased Performance Line, or maybe they did a trial of Beachbody On Demand, you're checking in with them to let them know that their renewal might be coming up, because people hate the surprises. Now, when I first started Beachbody, we didn't have those nice emails that came that reminded our customers that their things were going to be shipped soon, that they had like a week's notice now, right? Which is fabulous. It's great. And it's something you can kind of like fall back on. It makes our jobs a little bit easier, but I still feel that it is appropriate to reach out yourself to those people to let them know that you care, and just to give yourself a check-in with them to see how they're doing. So that brings us to number 3. And basically that is checking in on these people. You really need to feel your people out. You may, and actually I went out of order here, but it doesn't matter. I like this one as number 3 anyways, with the checking in on them, because we were talking about the calendar. So we're just going to go with it here. So when you are checking in on them, you know, everybody's going to be different as far as how often they need to be checked in on. Number 1, I always ask the people to let me know when their shipment comes on that day 1. That's considered day 1 for me. When that shipment comes, I want to know that they got it. I want to know that they know what's in their package and that they know what they're doing. So at that time, when you check in and see how they're doing, ask them how often they would like to be checked in on. Some people might want a little more hand holding and want you to check in on them every day. That's fabulous. Utilize your challenge group with that. Hopefully they're on Facebook and you can check in with them more consistently that way. I think it makes our job easier as well. If you're more friendly with them and they need a text or an email, do it that way too. Ask them how they'd like to be contacted. But it might be daily, it might be weekly, and there might be some people who are like, you know what, just check on me once a month. and you're good to go. But I really like to tailor to them. And when you're the one that likes daily check-ins, Lindsay, and some people do, and that I have certain challenges, and it's gonna wax and wane too. There may be some people that they're good for a while, and then all of a sudden they get in a funk and they need you more often. So don't, even if somebody says, I'm good once a month, you got to kind of swing back and check in on them to see if that changes, because we all have our ups and downs as this, this is a journey, and it's the way life is. Sometimes we're doing really well, and sometimes we're just really in a funk. So that's kind of our job too, to just kind of be there for them when they need us, but not kill ourselves and be overbearing, I guess, is what it comes down to. All right, so let's back it up then. That was number 3. Number 4 then on the list is going to be mailing a handwritten thank you note. Now, I know for some people, you're probably thinking, that's not my style. Again, that goes back to me being old school, and I just really think there's something super special about getting a handwritten thank you note from somebody. It really just shows to me that you care. In this world of social media and everything's online and everything's on the computer, it just really stands out when you take the extra time to write a thank you. Go to Target, dig through those dollar bins. You can find some really cute stationery. You can find some really cute thank you cards. It just takes a stamp and a card in the mail to say thank you. I'm here for you. I'm so glad you're on this journey with me. And it goes a long way. So let's move on, guys. Number 5 then is going to be send them resources. So we have so many things at our disposal as coaches. You have your wonderful home office, which has a plethora of things in there that you can use as resources. And our uplines are amazing. Even, look in your team Grit and Grace, look at the files. We have so many resources available, but think of things like the sample meal plans. Think of things like what apps are there, like depending on what the person bought. Share the apps that are available to them that they can utilize. But there are so many things, I even look on Pinterest sometimes, for like Shakeology recipes, or there are some really great, if they're still using Fixate, like the Fixate cookbook ideas and Fixate cookbook recipes, or just the meal plans in general that you can find on Pinterest or in the home office are pretty amazing. So make sure you're sharing that as resources for your challengers and for your customers. All right, let's keep moving along. And guys, I'm really not looking at the chat section right now. So if I will peek in there towards the end here. And if there's any questions, I can always type them out too. It's just really hard for me to look at that and keep focus here. So, all right. So we already went on the check-in with them. So the next one would be consistency. Be consistent. And we talked about follow-ups and how often you should be checking in with these people, but you really just need to be consistent with those check-ins. And the reason being for that is really revolves around trust. You want these people to trust you and to know that you're not going anywhere, that you are there for them. And being consistent with those follow-ups is going to on to number 7, which is referrals. Once you have these people that have come to you and they're hopefully starting to see success, they're seeing that they're achieving their goals, and they've gained the trust from you, from your groups, from you reaching out to them, from being consistent with them and showing up daily in their life. This is when your sales still doesn't end. You utilize them as a stepping stone to ask for referrals. They have friends, they have family, and if their friends and family are seeing them being successful, you could get them to be a coach if that is what they're wanting to do. And if they're not wanting that at that time in their life, you use them as referrals for you and to continue to grow your business. And that has been one of the best things for me is referrals. I'm not the best at Instagram. I'm not the best at Facebook. I am a face-to-face kind of person. Beachbody has kind of taken me in a little bit of a different direction lately with my PIO and teaching and instructing. And it's become a lot more community centered for me and face to face. And so my successes have looked a little different, but than what it did when I first started Beachbody, but I'm still getting those referrals and I'm still getting those interactions, and I'm still doing well with what I'm doing. It's just changed a little bit, but it doesn't mean that I've stopped the selling, and it doesn't mean that I've stopped doing these steps that I'm doing. It's just that I'm utilizing it in a different way. So I guess to wrap it up, you know, with those steps that I shared with you, is tweak and tailor it to you, because we're all different. We all have different styles, and we all are different coaches, and that's what makes us great. And that's what makes us a great team, because we can really bring so much to the table together. And just consistency with your people, and showing them that you're trustworthy and that you're there, I think is number one. So if you guys have any questions, I'm going to peek into the chat real quick, but that's really all I have for you guys tonight. And whoops, that's not where I wanted to go. That's really all I had with my 7 steps. But like I said, it's just about tweaking it and tailoring it to you and what works for you. But going back to those thank yous, pretty hardcore on that. Don't send an email. Don't send a text. Like, get out a piece of pen, get out a piece of paper and a pen, and send that in, and, you know, give them some happy mail for once, other than a bill or something. All right. I think the new challenger checklist is awesome for new people. Great. Okay. I don't see any questions. So Lindsay, unless you have anything to add, I think that is what I have to study tonight.
I love that. I mean, it seems so basic, but even after being in this business for, August 28th or something is going to be 4 years for me. When you said referrals, I was like, I haven't asked for referrals in months. Like I needed that reminder. So I hope that everyone took notes. I took notes. These are things that seem really small, but they're really small until you do them, because to the person who gets the thank you note in the mail, that's a really huge gesture. That's showing them that they're more than just a sale. They're more than just a Success Club point. That, you know, they're more to you than just a number. And we all feel that way about our customers and about our clients. So we need to make sure that we're treating them that way and making sure that they feel that way. I think that's really important. So I wanted to also add, like Jamie had mentioned, making it yours, like tailoring this to you. I think that's so important. So Jackie actually commented on one of my Instagram stories today. And I don't know if you guys follow my Instagram stories at all, but I have just started, I don't know, in like the last 3 weeks, being really stupid. Like as I'm mixing my Energize and my Hydrate, which I'm always really stupid, but that's me. But as I'm mixing them in the morning, I've been playing music and like just dancing with a silly filter on my face while I'm mixing it. You guys, I know that looks stupid, and I know some people are watching it going, oh my God, Lindsay's an idiot. Why does she bother? Well, I have had so many people message me asking me what I'm drinking, asking me where my playlist is, which makes me think I need to make a playlist and start sharing that so people can start following that and maybe find me that way on Spotify or on, you know, other ways. But I had a Tone It Up girl purchase Energize from me after seeing me doing that. She messaged me after watching my story. And then I had a girl who I've talked to about Beachbody, but then she had a baby. She just messaged me while I was on the beach and said she wanted to know more about what I was mixing in the morning because she needs something. And then I had another person message me just kind of asking, like, what is that? Why do you use it? That kind of thing. So that's me being me and being silly, not talking about product, not talking about anything like that, just doing the same thing every day, that consistency that Jamie just talked about. And that's got people coming to me saying, what is this? Why are you doing this? Can I get some? You know, that kind of thing. So keep it in mind. Like maybe a handwritten note isn't your thing, maybe a postcard is your thing, and you've got a really cool postcard from where you're from. Maybe you live in a cool place, or maybe creating like a little thank you video for that person and sending it to them through Facebook Messenger is your thing. Like, that's not my thing. I am a handwritten thank you note kind of girl. So that's what I do. But if something else is your thing, then do that. Something else I've been doing is throwing in these packets of Energize samples. I only do it when they invest in a challenge pack. I don't do it if they just do like Beachbody on Demand or something like that, only because these are an investment on my part. So I want to make sure that I'm getting a return for it. But I usually throw this in and say enjoy, or if I know they bought this when they signed up, I'll throw in a packet of Hydrate instead, because Hydrate is really my jam. That's actually why I mix them together, because I prefer Hydrate to Energize, but I need the Energize. So just be thinking about different little ways. I've actually also started throwing stuff like this into my new coach welcome packets, because introducing them to new products is good for everybody, good for them, so that they know what it is and, you know, a little bit more about it. They've actually gotten to try it, but then also if they decide they like it, it builds our volume as a team. So yeah, Christy, I plan to buy more samples at Summit, so I'm not paying shipping and handling for them. Summit's a great place to stock up on that stuff. So that's a great segue actually into what I wanted to say about Summit tonight. So I just wanted to say we're all getting ready for Summit. Those of you that are not going to Summit, I know some of you have mixed emotions about that. Some of you, you know, you have really good reason why you're not going. Some of you you weren't a coach far enough in advance to plan the trip, or things come up. I mean, Jackie's got 2 fresh babies at home that she can't leave right now, and I get it. I was uber pregnant 2 years ago and didn't go either, because, I mean, life is life, and sometimes you just can't make it. But I wanted to say, don't let that hold you back from using Summit as something that you can be sharing. So I'm not saying, like, if I post something, I'm not telling you to share my post. I don't think that's a good idea. In fact, I'm going to tell you not to do that, because what's going to happen is whoever clicks on that post from your page is going to come to me. And that's not the point of this. But what you can do is you could take an image, a picture that I share, or you could just kind of say, like, my coach Skylar is at Summit right now and I'm not there, and this is what she just got to do. She just got her picture taken with Sean T or whatever, because that will be happening. Last year, oh my gosh, Jamie, how many people did you have pictures taken with last year? You were like the celebrity trainer queen. There's so much hype, and I don't want you to think because you're not there you can't use the hype to start to also build your business and to share. So make sure that you are plugged into our sneak peek group if you're not currently in there, because that's where the Backstage Pass to Summit is going to be. So I also want to make sure that you are inviting people to be a part of that Backstage Pass. So if you see us share something and you decide to grab that image, by the way, I'm kind of giving everyone open permissions to take anything from anyone on the team. If somebody on the team doesn't want that to happen, let us know. But if you see me post a picture, grab it. Don't ask permission. Just take it and share it if you want to. I'm cool with that. But when you share those things, let people know, like, there's a lot more going on than what's going on in this picture. If you want to see it, I've got this group that, you know, it's like a Backstage Pass to Summit, and I'd love to have you in there, because we'll be going live. We'll be sharing a little bit from our happy hour that I'm hosting. We'll be sharing some live workout stuff in that group. We'll be sharing a tour of the core, which is really cool. If you've never been to Summit before, it's like the whole Beachbody online store in a brick and mortar store. It's really cool. There's new things that will be launched there. Like, there's new sneakers that look amazing that we're launching, new clothes, things like that. So be using that. Make sure you're inviting to the sneak peek. I would be really explicit with my invites. I would be like, I want you to be in this group because, and I would be sending that to people who are on your dream team list. Let them know, like, you're on my dream team list. You may not even want to use that word. You may just want to say, like, I would really like you to join me in this group because, and let them know exactly why you think this would be good for them. Maybe they love fitness. Maybe they need the community. Maybe you've been able to pay some bills this month with your income, and you know they could benefit from that. That kind of thing. Make it really personal. I mean, there's a reason why those people are on your list. It's not just because you saw them on Facebook and decided to add them. There's a legit reason why they're there. And so share that with them, because that's special. You think highly of them. That's why they're on your list. So while we're at Summit and we're sharing all these things, it's going to be really exciting. We'll be blowing up the team page. We'll be blowing up the Backstage Pass, I'm sure. But I also want you to be thinking about why you're not here this year and what you need to start doing now to make Summit a reality next year. Because I think it'll be Thursday night, right after the opening ceremony, they're probably going to put the tickets for next year on sale. And or it may end up being Saturday night. I can't remember if it's opening ceremony or closing ceremonies. But it's going to be announced. And if I can go ahead and tell you, I have a spoiler alert because it was accidentally leaked. But it will be in Indianapolis again next year. And tickets will be going on sale while we're still at Summit. Christy says it's Saturday. So Saturday night, they'll announce that tickets are on sale. And they'll be on sale for a special promotion price of $135. And this is what Erica and I have always advised everyone to do. Go ahead and buy your ticket for this discounted price. Don't worry about details. We'll figure them out later. Because this is such a good price. You want to go ahead and buy it before they sell out at this price. And really, we can make Summit happen. I mean, we've had people sleeping on air mattresses before. We've got, I think, 6 people staying in our Airbnb where I'm staying. I mean, there's ways to make it work. We can drive. We can, watch airfare. It's so far out that you can make plans. And I will also tell you that it's being moved back to July next year. For those of you that are teachers who maybe I know that in New York, teachers are teaching until June 22nd or something. I know I didn't even graduate when I graduated high school until June 28th. So teachers are actually still working in New York right now, not just work days. So I know anybody up there probably had to take off work or didn't get to go to Summit this year because of the dates. So just be thinking about that. Be thinking about what you need to be doing now in your business, and also maybe financially saving for the trip. I can tell you that I think you can do Summit, staying in a hotel with other girls and buying your ticket. And I think even with airfare in there, you could probably do Summit for $500. Maybe I'm being crazy. I mean, your ticket's $135, and hotel for 3 nights is going to be around that too. And then airfare is going to be, $100 to $200 round trip. So be thinking about that. I think you could make it happen. And I think you could make it a goal to earn your trip to Summit in your business, maybe by January or something like that, and have that money in the bank knowing that that's what it's going toward. Because this is why I feel like Summit's important. I'm going to be completely candid. When I first signed up to coach, Kate was my sponsor. Kate is one of my new coaches. She's actually speaking in the sneak peek on the 27th. But she was my sponsor. She signed me up. And we sat in the cafeteria at my school, and we were looking at pictures of Lindsay Matway and Bonnie Engel and Megan Ewaldson, who was my major girl crush for a long time. And we were can you believe they do this full time? This is all they do. We had it in our heads, this is all they do. And we weren't making fun of them, but we were laughing, holy cow, this is some people's job. And that's because we had no idea what they really do. But we also just kind of had this idea in our heads that was something we could never achieve. Without actually saying that, we were letting fear kind of run our thoughts. And from there, I saw people going to Summit and going on these all-inclusive vacations that they earned through Beachbody. And I was yeah, that's cool. I'll never be that girl. I'm never going to pick up and leave my family and go to Summit and be part of that, that cult or that, whatever it is. People have these ideas in their heads. And I definitely went my first year, cried. It was my first time ever leaving my son. And Erica and I drove. We stayed in a room that was way too far away. We had to Uber everywhere or drive everywhere. It was the best experience because it was a hot mess and we made it work. And then I ended up taking my whole family with me on an all-inclusive trip to Punta Cana. Like, I took my 9-month-old daughter with me. I got her a passport, you guys. Never in a million years would I have been able to do that without Beachbody. I would have never even considered. Like, my son and daughter would not have passports if not for Beachbody. So I want you to I know that you have these ideas in your head already because I just said buy your ticket as soon as you can. You're probably thinking, I can't do that. I don't have $135 and I'm not going to buy it because I don't know what's going to happen in a year. I don't know what's going to happen in a year either. My God, I could end up pregnant with a third child and on accident and maybe not be able to go. But I'm going to buy a ticket right now anyway, because what if that doesn't happen? What if I can go? And Beachbody is really good about giving you the opportunity to give your ticket to someone, to get your money back. I mean, up until a certain point. So don't let fear hold you back. I'm sharing that story about sitting in the cafeteria poking fun at Lindsay Matway and sitting and saying, I'll never go to Summit. I'll never go on this trip. I'll never do that. Because in my head, I believed what everyone else had told me my whole life. Certain people earn that and everybody else just kind of works for them. And that's not the case, because so many of us on this team have achieved that without being Lindsay Matway or Bonnie Engel or even striving to be them. I don't want to be. I've shared this already, but I don't want to be top coach or anything like that. But I do think that there's a lot of opportunity here that Beachbody gives us. And so I can tell you this, surrounding yourself with a bunch of positive people at Summit is going to do nothing but good things to you. It's going to be an amazing confidence boost. It's going to be huge for your business growth. Like, there's no possible way to leave Summit and not be fired up, ready to hit the ground running when you come back. There's no way for you to go to Summit and come back feeling like you don't fit in, like you're lonely, like nobody understands you. When I went to the New Leadership Conference in California 2 years ago, a year ago, I sat at a table with all these girls. Erica had already gone up to the room to shower. And I was sitting at a table with all these women who I had never met until that day. We had been in a workout together, and then we were eating breakfast before our first training. And it hit me like, I don't know these people, but they get me. They don't care that they don't know me. All they care about is that we're all here. We're all human. We all have our own demons, and we're all in it together. And that, for me, was exactly what I needed at that moment in my life. That actually gave me the courage to decide to leave my job that I was so unhappy at and take the job that I had this year that has just been the biggest blessing and made me realize I really do love teaching again. So that's what you're going to walk away from. That's why I feel like these live events are so, so, so important to get to. I know it's a struggle. I don't have family around that can really help with daycare or childcare or anything like that. I have an amazing husband who's willing to make it work. So I know all those things, but we know it's going to be in July. We know it's going to be in Indianapolis. We know all these things. So go ahead and buy your ticket and let's start making sure that we can be here in a year, because I'm telling you, you will not regret it. You'll be exhausted. You'll be drained emotionally, mentally, physically. You'll be drained in every way possible. It'll be like the longest all-nighter you ever pulled in college. But I can tell you that it pays off in so many ways. So many memories, friendships, so much growth in your business. Just your heart is going to be so full. Your cup will be overflowing. And it is worth every single penny, every single minute that you are not with your children. I can say to you that I am very, very picky about who I spend my time with and how I spend it away from my kids. And this year, I am not even second guessing or worrying about Summit, because I know that I come back a better mom, a better wife, a better person when I go. This is something that I look forward to every year because it fills my soul. And so I really want to encourage you to be watching us while we're there and to start thinking now of how you're going to make that happen for you next year. I've closed the chat too because I can't focus. But some people are just saying like the thank you notes are good. Shaco packet if they don't get Shaco. Jackie, I hope you heard me. It's going to be at Indianapolis again next year, and it's going to be in July. All right. Are there any questions before we wrap up?
Yep, I heard you. Thanks.
All righty. Let me stop recording.